Good to talk with you again.
We're looking forward to a time when people are talking about what the real secret is. Because the real secret is not the law of attraction. That's like gravity. That's not a secret. You can't help but notice that once you're onto it. But the real secret is, it's the secret of the art of allowing. It's the art of allowing you to blend with the broader perspective. That's what the true secret of success is. It's what the true secret of happiness is. It's what the true misunderstanding is. It's the reason that Oprah, like our friend, is reluctant to have something this weird presented to her audience that she does not think is ready for us. So the world just keeps keeping the secret, even though every one of you, if you've ever yawned, you've channeled. Because a broader part of you set the impulse, and the physical aspects of your body received the impulse, and your body responded to the impulse that was set forth by Source. You see what we're getting at? Now we are ready for it.
Thank you. I'm trying to think where to start, but for some time I've been studying people and the aspect of faith. In the South, a lot of Christianity, in other parts of the world, different types of faith, but it seems all people with faith, whatever their faith is in, can manifest very quickly. And I sort of want to confirm that faith, in your opinion, is that place. That is...
Well, what we would call faith, this is the way we would define it. Faith is alignment with an idea, alignment with a desire. It's lined up energy. In other words, when you want something and you believe it, there's no contradiction in your vibration, and so you are offering a singular vibration which is more powerful than if your energy is split. So it doesn't really matter what it is they are believing in per se. Faith in the truest sense of the word, faith in the way that we mean it, would be like being in the vortex. And this is the way we explain it. Before you came into this physical body, you existed as a vibrational consciousness, powerful source energy. A part of that consciousness comes into this body where you explore and expand. In other words, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, you continue to evolve and expand and ask for more. And the non-physical part of you receives that request and becomes it immediately. Knowledge, not faith, knowledge. Knows it completely, is it, bees it. Now there's a gap usually between the time you ask and the time you allow. And if you stand in an attitude of hopefulness or expectation, or what one might call faith, if you stand in a vibration of expecting, now there's little resistance in your vibration, and so what you are asking for then is revealed to you. That's why so many different people from so many different religions asking for so many different things all come to the common denominator of faith. Because there is not a giant right and wrong in the sky. There is life that is carved out by the individual desirer or creator, and then source accommodating, law of attraction facilitating, and faith is what brings you into vibrational alignment with it. You could say that faith and allowing are about the same thing. When you stood before Jesus, you speaking of Christianity, dripping your illness, he was a healer who did not allow himself to even go to where your illness was. In other words, he did not acknowledge you in your illness. Instead, he knew you in your wellness. And because he knew so completely your wellness and offered the singular expression of that which is source energy, your illness could not abide in that vibration. And he said to you, it is your faith that makes you whole. It is your belief that makes you well. That's what he was talking about. Not a thought. Now, someone else could come, a physician today could come and say, it is illogical. In other words, this person has this, the evidence is shown in these tests, in these blood tests, in these x-rays, and he could talk you into doubt, which is the opposite of faith. He could talk you into vibrational alignment with the evidence that you're already living. So faith, in its purest form, is alignment with the vibrational evidence, not the reality that is already. This is where we started here today, isn't it? That there is this reality that is already manifested, this manifestational reality. And most people put most of their faith in what they're seeing. That's why things move so slowly for most people. They believe what they see, but they don't believe it until they see it. And the problem with that is, what faith is believing it before you see it, believing it before it is manifested. Believe it while it's in the manifestation, while it is in the vibrational state, before it is in the manifestational state, and then it will become manifestational. Best description of faith ever. And in some ways, can you feel that this gathering gathered before you even dragged your physical bodies here, in the sense that we'd already so powerfully laid the groundwork for that? You see how we're all in this together? That what you are wanting to know has preceded your arrival with your body and your words at this gathering? Nice to know.
So isn't it true that that's the step that most people just have not taken, is that step that I'm just going to believe it before I see it, right?
It is, but that's why it's like Esther has a tickle in her throat, and before it gets too strong, she's going to allow us to suck on this. It's a little bit like that. In other words, when you have an inkling about something, you can sort of tell where it's going, can't you? You can sort of tell where it's going. So if Esther catches this before she starts snorting into the microphone, it's much, much better than if she waits until after. All things are that way. You can tell by the way you feel what your vicinity is to where you really want to be. You can tell when you're moving away from it. You can tell when you're moving toward it, you see. Now, bring us back around to where you were going, because we like the direction of that.
I've just been very happy in the last couple of years. I've manifested all these things that a few years ago I was struggling with, and it just seems I've been getting up every morning with appreciation and faith that the unseen is just as well seen, and I just wanted to confirm that
that's a perfect state of being, because when you are appreciative and pleased with where you are and eager for more, it is the perfect vibrational dynamic, because you're still reaching with slight or no resistance, That just makes for the most comfortable, joyous expansion in life. Yes. We want to go back to what you were talking about, and what we were talking about the manifested reality. When you said most people want to see it and then they will believe it. And that is the reason that this vortex analogy is so helpful in our teaching of this thing about faith, is because if we can convince you in the validity of this vibrational precursor, and we can speak of it enough that you will notice in your own life experience, in other words, you can discover on your own the reality of what it feels like when you line up with who you are and what it feels like when you don't. So now it's not faith, it's real. In other words, you can feel the thrill of connection, and you can feel the discord of disconnection. You can feel the thrill and the clarity and the well-being of alignment, and you can feel the discord of not. And so now if we can convince you of the vibrational reality before you see it, but not before you feel it. So faith is reaching for the feeling and then trusting that the manifestation will follow that feeling. And you only need a little bit of faith for a little while, because the manifestation will give you the evidence. In other words, we're not asking you to go on year after year after year. That's what our friend helped us to say as we began here today. Sometimes if you've had something that you've wanted for a really long time and it hasn't manifested, you lose the faith. But it's because you don't understand the laws of the universe, and you're not understanding your own guidance system. When all that clicks into place, faith isn't necessary, because you just know. You don't have to, you're not going on faith. You don't have to convince people, and people don't need you to have faith either, because they're watching things manifest all around you. You reach the point where you barely speak of something, and there it is. You barely acknowledge slight interest in something, and a whole bunch of it shows up in your experience where you can dissect it and enjoy it firsthand, you see. It's wonderful to know about the laws of the universe, and 1,000 times more wonderful to apply them deliberately. Well, after a while, you're going to start believing what happened.
Yes. You changed my world.
Well, you changed it, we focused upon it, and you caught up.
Thank you.
That's how it works. People say, "Oh, Abraham, I've been following you." And we say, we're following you, we're following you. You're launching the rockets, we're following the rockets, and then we stand there where you pointed us to be, and we hold the light for you to find. And when you do, acknowledge that that's what happens. I created this, I lined up with this, I'm living this.
Thank you so much for that, because I'm getting good at this. And when things don't happen the way I expect them, I start to say, wait a minute.
They always happen the way you expect them. When I discover that my expectation is out of whack, I'm starting to notice it. When I let life train me into expectation that is bogus, I'm starting to notice that. Let's use expectation in the real way. I get what I expect. It's never other than that.
I expected to get called up here today.
Yeah, obviously. It's easier for you the second, third, and fourth time. The audience hates you for it because it feels like injustice. So when positive things happen which induce positive expectation, that's why things, the better they get, the better they get, the better they get, the better they get. It's also why the worse they get, the worse they get, the worse they get, the worse they get. So what we're asking you to do is to expect outside of what's happening. It's easy to get called on and then expect it again. The hard thing is to not ever have been called on and then get called on. The hard thing to do is to expect around the reality that has your attention. And that's what we talk about all day. Find a way to care so much about the way you feel that you're not willing to think a thought that doesn't feel good, even if it makes the most sense. I've never had any money. Nobody I know has ever had any money. My family's never had any money. Therefore, I don't expect to have any money. Well, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. It's going to turn out the way you expect it to be. So, you've been taking this in.
Of course.
So, what is it you want to talk about here and now? What's new for you?
I want to get better at the fine-tuning of my desire, my expectation, and all of that. I have started to realize that I can manifest things almost instantaneously, but just giving it a passing thought. Ooh, I'd like to have that.
On things that you haven't practiced otherwise. If it's a new thing that you don't have an expectation about, the universe will deliver it to you nearly immediately because there's no push and pull going on in you. But if it's something that you've wanted for a while, so you've got some expectations that are pushing it away while your words are trying to pull it to you, that's what you want to be aware of. And your emotions are what tells you about that. So here's our encouragement. Stay off those subjects. Don't try to teach yourself on the subjects that are difficult. Teach yourself on the subjects that are not difficult, which means choose new subjects. Choose new subjects. Universe, today I would like to see evidence of happy people. Universe, today I would like to see evidence that you know what I've been thinking about. Universe, today I would like to see obvious motion forward for me on something where I haven't been moving forward on before. Universe, today, show me progress about something. Now, you see, the way the question is pointed, it's so vague you're not blocking it. You're general enough that you're not blocking it. But when the universe shows you this and 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 this, you'll remember. In other words, the way your expectations change is when you ask for something that you really don't quite believe, but your asking is clear enough and you're not believing is foggy enough that the universe can give it to you. That's how you bridge your expectations. And after a little while, you'll begin to feel invincible. Absolutely invincible. You can change the weather.
life, particularly when I was a child, I knew that this was a thing. I knew that this was a thing. When I would see movies like Harry Potter or things with magicians or things like that, I knew that there was something to that. I knew that there was something to, I can create from my mind. People would say, that's ridiculous, or what are you doing? Why aren't you calling that person? Why aren't you putting more action in that? I knew somehow that sometimes that would be counterproductive. I knew that I could create a situation through my focus in my mind. And so I'm so grateful to finally have manifested you into my life to show me that that is in fact true. I had given up on a lot of things coming in my life, and by the way, I'm an actor too. It seems to be a theme today. But that was such a huge thing for me that there was a block here. And I have to say, since I found you last year, things have really started to change, particularly in the last 6 months. I now sorry. I have begun to expect my dreams to come true again. I wanted them so bad. But I realized that wanting them so bad almost made them unreal. So now, when I think about my desire to get a role or be on a show or whatever, I try to, and you'll tell me if this is correct or not, I try to bring that down to something that is closer to something that I manifest like that. I said, oh, of course I'd be calling for that. Of course I can get a part on that show. Of course I'm a good candidate for that movie. And that actually has started the gate to open where people are calling me in. When my agent tells me about a project, I will say to myself, and I don't say to him, call me on that. I'm going to get called in on that. And I follow the impulses that come to me when I'm feeling good.
So, everything that you've said here, really good. There's one tiny little bit of fine-tuning that we want to give you. And everyone's right here close with you, and so they're going to benefit from it. When you caught your breath there for a moment, it was an indication that you had stronger desire than you did belief, just for a moment. And that's why it felt the way that it did. It amplified desire. And then the words that followed that experience, where you kind of choked up for a moment, were, I've wanted this so bad for so long. We just want to point something out that we pointed out about Esther's experience earlier. You're really going to like it. You're still doing, and so many people do it, you're wanting to influence or evoke from the universe, from the emotion of painful need, than from joyful desire. And your purpose is, if you need a little, oh man, she's going to be right there. Humans sort of train you that way, to be just needy enough. But there's a power that's greater than that you want to practice. You want to come from love, not need. From love, not need. From love, not pain. From knowing, not guessing. From knowing, not hoping. You're at the place, and it's a good place to be. It's paying off really well for you, and it will continue to do so, but you could do better. Where your desire is mostly being met with hope. And so that gives you quite a bit of what you desire. But when your desire is met with knowing, when your desire is met with love, when you're not trying to motivate normal people, but instead are only dealing with your own push-pull vibration. You see, it's when you think you're going to inspire another. Esther was doing that with her contractor. If he just understands that they are putting me in an inconvenient position and that I'm really too busy for this, maybe they'll hustle a little bit more and they'll get some stuff done. Nope, it slowed it down. Not because they wanted to slow it down. They weren't deliberately punishing her. The universe is not deliberately or indeliberately punishing her. It's that you can't get there from there. So it's from your pure desire and expectation that it be satisfied. But you see, you don't want to appear to be that arrogant. Because when you're sure of yourself, lots of other humans who aren't sure of themselves are offended by your sureness. That's why when you hear the stories from the actors, they are so ready to tell you about their struggle. Because they want you to give them permission to have received the benefit of their struggle. If I can present my struggle to you in an efficient enough way, you won't be mad at me for this now success. And a lot of you are doing that in a lot of also indicates the power of your resistance. When you're demonstrating the power of your desire with no resistance, you're just obnoxious. You're just sure of yourself. And you're just worried about nothing. And you're just anticipating wonderful things. And you're walking around just waiting for the next thing to reveal itself to you. And you're ready for the revelation. And you're eager every day. Esther used to wonder, because we said so often, the universe will surprise and delight you. And she thought, how can that be? I can get how the universe can delight me. But why would it be a surprise if I create my own reality? And if I put each and everything in my vortex, then why am I going to be surprised? And we say, the timing of it is what surprises you. The timing and the combining of the things that you want. The things that you put into the vortex have been spun into this magnificent combining. And when you hold yourself, as you are beginning to do, steadily in that place of positive expectation, then there's just delight after delight after delight after delight. And so when someone meets you, you don't seem like an actor who is yearning for the job. You appear to them to be the actor that knows that he's got the job. Do you know why so many of the big projects cast the same actors? Because once they've been cast, they expect to be cast. So it seems like they only pick from them, or they mostly pick from them. But it's a vibrational thing. It's not like that. It's a vibrational thing. Of course, it's easier to expect it when it's happened to you. We started this conversation with those words. But you can, by understanding the laws of the universe and by demonstrating to yourself all day, every day, that you hold all the cards, you can then be that person who just expects things to go the way you want them to. Esther wants to say to her contractor and to the guy that's doing the gas pipe and to everybody else who's involved in any project that has anything to do with her, things always work out for me, so we're going to have a lot of fun together. Things always work out really well for me, and I bet they work out really well for you too. It won't it be fun for things to work out for the two of us while we're involved with each other? Isn't that a nice way to be? Things always work out for me, which means I always star in successful movies. Things always work out for me, which means I always join really good teams. Things always work out for me. Things go really good for me. I have vibrational winningness going on, is really what you're saying. And people want to hook up with that. That's why confidence is attractive to others. That's why coattails are a thing. When you're sure of yourself, everybody wants in on it. And when you're timid, it's going, people think, anybody else more sure of themselves? Hey, doctor, I'd like you to remove this, whatever it is, that I don't want in my body. I might move on to someone more confident. Good enough?
Yes.
Really good. Law of attraction is a powerful law. Do you believe that it is the most important thing for you to focus upon?
The last thing I said before walking up here was to Barbara outside, and I said, Esther's going to pick me.
I told you Barbara was powerful. Do you believe that law of attraction is real? So you knew it, huh?
Yeah,
So you were in a vibrational place of desire and expectation.
yeah,
Do you believe that law of attraction is real?
yes,
Do you believe that you are a vibrating being? Do you believe that law of attraction is responding to your vibration? Do you believe that you have control of your vibration? Do you believe that your vibration is indicated to you through the emotions that you feel? Do you believe that your vibration is about the thoughts you think? Do you believe that the thoughts you think are about your focus? Do you believe that there is a law of attraction momentum that is already going with your thoughts? Do you believe that right now you are more likely to think some things about some things than others? Do you believe that your beliefs are just thoughts that you keep thinking? Do you believe that every belief you have serves you? Do you believe that you have some beliefs that don't serve you? Do you believe that you can deactivate those beliefs? Do you believe that the way you deactivate those beliefs is by activating others? Do you believe that you can take a belief that is active, and on a dime, activate its exact opposite. So what has to happen in between? If a train is going 100 miles an hour that way, what is required in order for it to go 100 miles an hour that way? It slows down. So can you change a really active vibration to an opposite? You can't, can you? Didn't you like that? So do you have some beliefs that you would like to slow down? And do you think that you now know how to slow down the beliefs? And is it through lack of attention to them? So what's a way that you give a lot of attention to beliefs that you would like to slow down? What are some of the things you do that you now don't want to do? Talk about it. When you talk about things that you don't want, that's the way that you keep the momentum up. So do you think it's possible to stop talking about things that you don't want to keep moving? Could you make a decision, I'm going to talk less about things I don't want? Does that seem like a difficult thing to do? So now, in the middle of finding yourself talking about something that you didn't mean to talk about, now what's the most powerful, productive thing for you to do in the middle of catching yourself talking about something that you meant not to talk about? You could change the story a little bit, or you could give yourself a break. You could laugh. You could say, are you kidding me? 5 minutes ago, I said I wasn't going to talk about this thing that I'm talking about right now. In other words, have fun with it. Do you think that having that conversation slow it? This is a really important question. So if I'm talking about something that I said I wasn't going to talk about, but I catch myself talking about it, and then I laugh about it, and then I say, I'm getting better at this, have I slowed a little bit? You have, haven't you? So now somebody else begins a conversation about this thing that you said you weren't going to talk about. And so you realize that law of attraction has put you together, so it must still be active in your vibration. So now they're talking about it, you're not. So now what's the best thing for you to do? Don't respond. They don't like it. They don't like it. They're trying to suck you in. So now what's the best thing for you to do? Don't you think that's funny? Don't you think it's funny that you said you weren't going to talk about it and the universe brought you 5 examples in the next 5 minutes? So you say, is the universe testing you? No, the universe is simply responding to you. So what's that information telling you? Is that bad information or good information? What's it telling you? I've still got this thing active in my vibration, this thing that I don't want to have active in my vibration. So now you're not talking about it, but what are you doing? You're thinking about it. Now, how you're thinking about it could speed it or slow it. Are you mad at yourself for thinking about it? If you are, does that speed it or slow it? It speeds it up, doesn't it? What if you're not mad at yourself, but happy that you caught it? Does that speed it or slow it? That slows it. So now you're observing more, and now you start noticing that that's not coming up as much as in your experience. You're thinking about it now, but it's not been coming up as much. Is that a helpful thought or a not helpful thought? That's a helpful thought. Is it slowing it more or speeding it up? It's slowing it. You're directing your thoughts around it. In other words, you're directing the momentum of the vibration. So now that you have less active thoughts, because you can only think about one thing at a time, really. You think you're multitaskers, but you're really not. You're multitasking in the sense that you have this general vibration going on, and it's showing up in lots of different ways. Esther is talking to Kate, who has a new iPhone. And since Kate got her new iPhone, Kate notices Esther a lot less. Even when they're side by side. Esther will say something to her, and Kate won't respond. And Esther smiles and feels good because she likes that Kate's focused. She likes that she's not being distracted by everything that's going on around her. Is that twisting your brain into a little knot? In other words, you've been training each other to be easily distracted. You say to your children, listen to me. Doesn't matter what they're thinking about or what they're doing or what they're involved in or what, they're supposed to stop on a dime and listen to you. And often they cannot, can they? And you can't either. So as you begin exercising some deliberate attention to what you're thinking about, let's back up again. So you were not thinking about it, not actively, but someone walked into your experience and they're talking about it. What does that mean to you? There's still some activity going on within me. Now, your response, your intention now, is to slow the vibration of it, not to speed it. So what's the first thing that occurs to you now that we've had this conversation? You don't want to engage in a conversation about this. If you push against them, does that speed your vibration or slow it? It speeds it, doesn't it? If you give them the benefit of the doubt, does it speed your vibration or slow it? So as you think, well, they are just not as determined as I am about this, and clearly I've got some residual vibration, but in time, this conversation won't come to me at all. Now, you are oblivious to them, you're sort of ignoring them, and what do you think their experience is when you are not giving them feedback? You think they're going to keep coming back to you with that? Or have you deactivated enough that they won't come to you? So when it's not coming to you anymore, does that mean you've slowed the vibration of it? Now you've slowed the vibration of it. Now you have room in your attention process for something else. Now you can give your attention to more other things. We're really talking about airtime here. We're really talking about the amount of time that you have to focus. So is it logical to you that the less you think about unwanted things, the more time you will have to think about wanted things? Well, that's logical, but it isn't exactly the way it works. And this is why we wanted to take you through this process, because we want you to understand that how it works is this. This is so fun. It's so fun to help you realize this. You have, oftentimes without knowing it, put so much into your vortex that is active in terms of who you really are. Your inner being is active with the vibration of all of these things that you want. So when you slow the vibration of unwanted things, it's like you hold the cork under the water. When you let go of the cork, it bobs back to the surface. Every effort you make to slow the vibration of unwanted things makes your cork bob closer and closer to the surface, so that the thoughts that you want to think will then be occurring to you. You then have access to those thoughts. Does that make sense to you? In other words, you've been thinking that deliberate creation was deliberately thinking a thought. What we're saying to you is, if you can stop doing that thing that you've been doing, if you can focus upon how you want to feel rather than on the thought that you're wanting to think, that's what we mean by getting out ahead of the vibration. You let the emotion lead you. So as you let the emotion lead you, as you let the desire for feeling happy lead you, as you find the vibrational place of that and your vibration raises, then you will be the realizer of more positive thoughts, or thoughts that feel better to you, as they float, as our friend said, from the vortex into your grid. Did you follow that? Are you the creator of your own reality? Are you a vibrational being? Does law of attraction respond to your vibration? Do you have some measure of control over what that vibration is? If you find yourself in a point of negative attraction, is it any big deal? Can you cease that attraction anytime you want? Is it usually a gradual process? Will law of attraction show you the evidence of your progress? Would that be a fun thing to do? Would it be as fun as any project that you have? Moving from any place that is less wanted to a place that's more wanted? Aren't you a little bit eager about letting your vibrational countenance be a higher priority to you? Don't you want to tend to your own grid and then have the benefit of watching the manifestations come? Aren't you eager to feel what will flow into your mind in the form of ideas as your grid fills in now that your vibration is higher? Doesn't it make you sort of want to get off to yourself and chat it up a little less? Doesn't it make you want to stop texting 24 hours of every day? Doesn't it make you sort of want to withdraw? Doesn't it make you want to live under a bridge? Doesn't it make you sort of want to withdraw from the chaos of your own mind and find some soft and steady vibration of well-being Don't you want to know what the source within you thinks? Don't you want to know what those masters who are aware of you and who are interested in you and who are helping you, don't you want to know what their impulses are? Don't you want your less helpful impulses to deactivate while more helpful impulses are activated? Don't you want to discover who you really are? Don't you want to really be the creator of your own reality? And isn't being the creator of your own reality, isn't it really being the manager of your own vibration? Do you believe in law of attraction? Do you believe that you are a vibrational being? Do you believe that you have the ability to offer your vibration deliberately? Do you believe that you have to think your way into vibration, or can you feel your way into vibration? Do you believe that the universe is responding to the vibration that is you? Do you believe that you are a worthy being? Do you believe that whether good things or bad things are coming to you in any moment, that you're still a good being? Do you believe that you can be good and undisciplined? Do you believe that you can be good and disciplined? Do you believe that it's possible to manage your thoughts with sheer willpower? No. Cut it out. It doesn't work. Do you believe that you will start the vibration at a softer place? Do you believe that every vibration will gain momentum? Do you believe that if you start out with a general vibration that feels good, it will gain momentum? Do you believe that a general vibration, as it gains momentum, will become more interesting? Do you believe that the details will fill in? So, doesn't it make sense that you want to quiet your mind more often? That you want to do more things that soothe you? That you want to take a long hot shower or a long hot bath? Don't you want to take a good run on the beach? Don't you want to pet your dog or pet your cat? Don't you want to spend time doing things that take you into that soft, good-feeling place? And is that the wrong approach to life? Is it the right approach to life? Don't you want to live under a bridge? We're just saying. We think that there is a lot of intentionality that has been assigned for the wrong reasons. And until you get your priorities squared away, until you really, really mean it that you want to feel good, until you really, really mean it that you care about how you feel, until you really, really mean it that you know that you are a vibrational being and that law of attraction is responding to your vibration, until you really, really mean it that you are broadcasting, until you catch yourself in the middle of a broadcast and continue it on purpose because it feels good, but slow it down on purpose because it doesn't feel good. Once you do that, you are a deliberate creator. And unless you do that, you are a creator by default. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely.
Scott Dela. Scott, nice to meet you. Friend? Hi, friend. How was your ice cream? So a lot of people think that being magnetic when they meet another person is all about gimmicks and what they say and kind of having to act like someone they're not. When in actuality, it's tapping into a calm inner vibe, a different frequency, similar to the frequency of the ocean that allows... Hi.
You are.
Yes. So last time I was in Dallas, there was a very small crowd. This was a while back, and so this is crazy. This is amazing. How
This
many
is
people there are.
co-creation at its best, is
Yes.
what this is. The size of the crowd is irrelevant. The readiness of the crowd is what's it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think you look younger than like when I first saw you. So those products are working.
Oh, you're talking about us?
Yes. Esther, those products are working. Keep doing it. All right, so I'll get right to it. So I wanted to be the first one picked, and then when this beautiful lady went up, and I went, oh, she's going to answer or ask a question that's going to lead into mine, and it did. Perfect. And that was segment intended. I recently started doing this, segment intended, and I heard a recording that Esther's doing it. and I'm carrying this book around with me. I'm just writing it down. I'm not doing it in the intent or extent that Esther is doing it. That's a little bit hard for me to do every moment.
But you could do it in your mind,
Yes.
and that's almost as powerful.
So the clarity that I wanted was, maybe this will help everybody. So you said the law of deliberate creation. Does that run into the law of segment intending? Is that it piggybacks?
Really, in those early days, as Esther was receiving us, there's only one law, and that's the law of attraction. Deliberate creation is a powerful intent, more like the process of deliberate creation. The law of allowing is really more like the art of allowing, and segment intending, again, is a process.
So I started about a few days ago. I just started writing stuff down just to appreciate, just for no reason, just to appreciate. It's weird. It's just like, and I've been doing this for a while, and it feels like I'm back to when I first learned about Abraham, and everything was just clicking. And all of a sudden I'm going, why is it lining up like that? I'm not even really focused on bringing something to me. I'm just appreciating and writing it down. I don't get it. Like, why putting it on a piece of paper, why is it making it so real?
Well, here's the thing. You already did the asking, so that part's done. And the source already answered it, so it's really done. So anything that you're doing that helps you to calibrate more consistently. So what's happening with you is that it's the consistency of it. When you say, I want it, but, that's not very consistent. When you say, I like this, but this, that's not very consistent. But the more consistent you are about focusing upon what you desire, meaning the less resistance you add to the equation, then the more momentum you allow. And the more momentum you allow, then the more powerful it is.
So these thoughts, like today, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of road construction going on in Dallas, everywhere. I'm sure everybody experiences it. So I'm driving here this morning, and it said 50 miles an hour work zone, right? I don't know why. I never drive 50 miles an hour. I decided, you know what? I'm going to follow that sign and just drive 50 miles an hour because there were workers present. So I slowed down to 50 miles an hour, and these cars were zipping like everybody. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to relax. And it was so hard to drive 50 miles an hour because everybody else was doing 75. There's no cops on the road, and I'm going, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just keep driving 50 miles an hour. It was so hard. But all of a sudden, the thought came, why are we in such a hurry? And where are we going? 75 miles an hour, Saturday morning. And I don't think I would have thought that if I wasn't like writing stuff down, because I think it's just slowing me down to just appreciate what's around me.
Well, we like your story, but we want to say a few things about it, and around it, and above it. The most significant thing that we want to say to you is that as humans, it is so normal to evaluate your progress through the physics of your physical world as you know them to be, through what you know as gravity and inertia and speed and momentum and those sorts of things. When you meditate on a regular basis and allow your vibration to rise, in other words, meditation means focusing in a way that your normal thoughts stop, which means all resistance stops, which means you allow your vibration to rise, which means you sync up with that pure positive energy, non-resistant vibration. There's such power in that. So when you allow yourself to connect with that source energy, now, while you're moving around with the people in your world who are competing with trying to edge each other out, and we don't want to be disrespectful, but the mundaneness of approaching life in a physical way, and you allow the non-physical energies to orchestrate for you on your behalf, that's when you begin to discover the true speed, the true clarity, the true cooperative components of this universe. Esther remembers when she was a kid living at home in her little town, and her school were only a few blocks away, and she walked everywhere, sometimes on a bicycle, but usually walking. And she can remember that feeling of just not being able to walk fast enough. She couldn't really run in her snow boots with her books and such, so she was just plodding and just wishing that there was some way that she could just move faster. And we get that in your physical world, you want to move faster, but that's because very rarely do you connect with this energy that creates worlds and allow it to work on your behalf. And when you start doing that so that you're there for the rendezvous with the moment rather than slogging along trying to make everything go. This is a scanty analogy, but it's like when you get into your vehicle, you don't get under the hood and work with the pistons. There probably aren't even any pistons there anymore, or the belts and pulleys. You sit in the car and you let the car do the performance and you just direct it where you want to go. And that's what we want you to do with this energy. We want you to let life point out to you what you want. And then we want you to trust that source energy has rounded up all the cooperative components. And then we want all of your work to be about chilling, about finding the clarity, about finding the sincere emotions that feel like security and well-being and liveliness and eagerness and love and appreciation. Because when you hone in on those so that that's the active vibration around which you are focused, now there's no resistance within you, and now all that the source within you is lined up for you. You'll be right there at the right time. Your timing will improve. The clarity that will flow through your mind, the impulse to be there. The other day, Esther was ripping up the hill. She was late. She was going to visit some friends in Del Mar. She was moving fast because she was 5 minutes late, or going to be. She was moving really, really fast as she tore off this main road and up onto the hill road that was going to wind up. And we said to her, take it easy. She hears us because she's tuned to us, and she slowed right down. And in that moment, 5 SUVs, big black ones, just like the one she drives. She drives herself around, only she's the chauffeur. Came moving very fast down the hill. There was something going on up there. Maybe a drug raid. She didn't know. They all looked so official. They were moving so fast down that hillside. And she just cooled jets, pulled over as they all went by. And she knew that we had seen them coming. She's close enough to us to feel the impulse. And so she was out ahead of it in that way. You see what we're getting at? So you don't know what that impulse was. You don't know why you felt it so strong. Just trust it and follow it.
I did, and I wrote down, last time I was here, I was the second one picked. And so I was sitting in my car when I got here. I wanted to get here early so I can get a seat up front. And I was like, that's gone. That's not going to happen. And so I wrote down, you know what? Perfect unfolding.
It always is.
I'll sit where I sit. I'm going to make a great connection. And I'll be the second one called.
It doesn't matter where you sit, and it doesn't matter whether you're second or third, but there is something about desire and expectation. In other words, in that desire and in that knowing, there was no resistance in your vibration. And so it was obvious. In other words, it wouldn't have mattered where you'd been. That was your intention with no resistance, which made you powerful.